Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm here at Currency Coffee in the Allendale Underground with the owner, George, and Karen Kalinowsky, who is running for mayor this year. So, George, for one, thank you for doing this.
Of course.
This is great that George is sponsoring these 3 days in a row for each mayoral candidate. So today, Wednesday the 9th. Tomorrow with John Kroll, the 10th, and then Friday with Peter Marchetti. So again, Karen, thank you for taking the time to do this. I know you've been really busy. So this format, we wanted to give some people a chance to ask you some questions that I know a lot of them have come into my page anyway. And George, as a business owner, I thought you'd be the perfect person to start with. So I'm gonna go ahead and let George go ahead and ask you what he wanted to, and we'll take it from there.
All right. Thank you for...
Fantastic, yeah. So, Mike, thank you, and welcome everybody. I appreciate you coming down today. I know it's middle of the day, and everybody's working too. So, Karen, we had a chance to speak a little bit earlier. I've lived around the United States and settled here in the Berkshires, and raising a family, starting a business, and I didn't know Pittsfield back in the day, as people like to say. I grew up outside of Schenectady, and I saw what happened over there when businesses leave and things change. And leadership really plays a huge role in redeveloping cities. And when it comes to businesses, without businesses, the tax base, the people coming into work, cities tend to falter and die. So I'm going to put this out there. It's a bit of a general question, but I think it's very important for the future of the city. What is the overall plan in your mind to reinvigorate the business community, and what steps would that include to not just bring in small business, but maybe larger businesses to help bring in people, refill the schools, and reinvigorate the tax base? So I'm going to let you have that one. It's simple, right?
I was going to say that one's, I think it's a multifaceted.
It is.
I basically already started with helping out some of the businesses, as we talked earlier. Some of the businesses down here in the Allendale area, mostly Berkshire Crossing, is dealing with a lot of shoplifting. They reached out to me a little over a week ago, asking me if I could help. I spoke to both our police chief and the district attorney's office. I'm waiting for a phone call back from the DA's office in regard to setting up a meeting between the business owners, the police chief, the DA's office, to help these businesses with the amount of money they're losing due to shoplifting. It's a high concern of theirs. So even though I'm not the mayor, this is one of the things that I think is important, and been trying to help the businesses in getting this conversation together to see how they could work together to solve the issues that are plaguing the business owners down here in Berkshire Crossing. And getting new businesses in, something that we do need to do. And you're right, that is, if we can get more businesses here, the burden on the taxpayer would be less. But to get more business here, you brought up, we also have to work on our schools. That's an avenue that I'm also been campaigning and working on since I've been on the city council too, is we have a lot of underperforming schools. We need to bring them up to high performing. If we want young families to move here with their children, we have to provide them with schools that they want to send their children to. Right now we have people leaving our school district. I mean, we want to get them back. We want them to be proud and send their kids to our schools here in the city. It also keeps the money in the city instead of going out to others. The strategy, I think I need to sit down with someone that does this to understand more on how to bring in businesses into the city. I mean, we need to promote ourselves. We need to promote ourselves as a place that, one, we can find the workers for them. Because if somebody moves their business here, and it'd be nice if they will move workers with them, but we have to also be able to provide them with workers. I know a shortage of workers is an issue with some businesses here in the city right now. It's just I don't know how much more to go on this. Is there a part of your question I haven't answered yet?
No, when it comes to fostering business in the city, some of the challenges I know myself and other business owners talk about is some of the outdated codes, some of the challenges of just developing and starting a business within the city, even versus the outlying towns. Because I do see a lot of businesses saying, well, for example, the Mazda dealership here in Pittsfield is moving to Lenox. You know, you have VW, Audi moving to Lenox. Granted, while they say it's for traffic and all that, if the business environment was more friendly, they may not have moved. So it's, how do you change that culture where Pittsfield may be perceived as not necessarily business friendly, you know, to an environment where it's more welcoming to companies?
No, and I agree with you there. I actually brought that question up with Mr. Coakley, and I was told that they were leaving because of space and traffic. But I think we could have done more to keep them here. I mean, we're on the same page with that. I don't think we reach out to businesses a whole lot. It's nice when businesses reach out to us and ask. I mean, we actually have a business owner here that did reach out to me because of, you know, Mr. Daly. And, you know, I believe as a community we came together and helped him at his establishment. I think we could do more of that. I don't think it has to be, you know, just one person. I think we as a city need to get out and go to the business owners and say, what can we do for you? Is there something missing? You know, do you need something from us? And we need to listen to them.
Absolutely.
So I'm back, and we're back with a familiar face, Bill Molnar. Many of you have seen Bill on my show recently because of all the work that was done at the Madison.
Which Karen was instrumental in getting done.
Okay, so thank you, Bill, for coming to Currency Coffee today. I know you had a question you wanted to ask Karen.
Yep.
So Karen, again, I'm going to step out of this, and there's no introduction needed here. You guys know each other pretty well. So I'll go ahead and give you the mic, Bill, and let you ask what you want to ask.
Give Karen the mic. I might drop it.
Well, you got to ask the question.
Okay.
Then you can hand it off to her.
Well, thanks, Mike. It's not really a question. It's more like an issue of what the city does to attract more businesses with the grants and everything, instead of keeping the businesses that have been established in Pittsfield for decades, helping them out. I applied for 2 city grants, one from PERC is it? And one from Downtown Pittsfield Incorporated. Got denied both of them. But then the city, it seems like they hand out bags full of money to these businesses that want to start up in Pittsfield that only last a couple of years. Now, my business has been in Pittsfield since 1935, and the only time the city sticks a hand out to me is when they want me to put money in it. I'm struggling, and the city is not helping me. What can be done about that?
And because we know each other, that is something else I have looked into. I'm still looking into the different figures and stuff. I haven't
Right.
gotten everything back
Okay.
yet in regard to that. I do agree that, I mean, we need to encourage businesses to come here. Don't get me wrong, we do.
No, I understand
But we also have to take care of the businesses that have been here, which is, I think I introduced you to apply for one of those grants.
Yep.
Because I knew they were out there. But I think us as city officials, we need to go around to businesses, talk to them, and if somebody's struggling, make them aware of what we do have available here in the city for assistance. You know, why one business is picked over another, I mean, as a city councilor, I don't have a say in that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did inquire into it. I still am researching into that, but I don't have, you know, all the answers for you in regard to that. As mayor, I think I might have a little bit more say on that, and you know, and I think that is something that's important. I mean, because we have a lot of businesses that have been established here in the city that COVID really harmed them financially.
Extremely.
And I believe that, we should be, doing what we can to help you out.
Exactly. And I very thankful for the help you gave me in painting my building and promoting it, and all the help you brought down and the help that I got from local merchant and everything. And I've gotten a lot of compliments about it. But it's not, I'm hurting. Let's just say that. I'm hurting. And the city is not helping.
I know it's frustrating.
It is.
Okay, but I'm still a firm believer in community involvement. Okay,
You proved that to me. You proved that.
You had a lot of people step forward. It wasn't just me. There was a lot of people, whether it was Mr. Razor with his donation of
Yep,
paint,
yep.
which was big, to our artists that came out and really made the mural look well. I would not have been able to do that on my own. But, I think we just have to keep working with that. I mean, nothing, I don't think anything's going to happen overnight, but I think we can still build on this.
Well, they had an article in the Weekend Eagle, or was it yesterday's Eagle, about the West Side Mural Project and how they wanted to improve the west side of Pittsfield. Well, my business, as far as I'm concerned, on corner of Madison and Seymour, is on the west side of Pittsfield. And it got absolutely no recognition. And that really hurts me, because the Berkshire Eagle didn't come down. They took some pictures and they ended up selling them online so they could make money. But no one from the Eagle has come down to ask me any questions, to support me, to do anything. And the west side is the west side. It doesn't make any difference if it's Tucker Park, where they had the murals going on. I mean, I don't know if I'm not considered downtown Pittsfield because I'm not on North Street. I wasn't considered part of the west side because I wasn't down on the lower part of Linden Street, or wherever Tucker Park is. I'm confused. It's like I'm caught in between the middle. I'm not this place, I'm not that place, but I am here. I am an established business in Pittsfield that has been here for decades, and people seem to turn their heads away. I don't know why.
No, I don't want to discourage you.
No.
Okay, but I think it's two different products. And from working on the mural, you had a lot of people that live in the west side, because it is part of the west side. You are next to North Street and the west side. It's all encumbered in one. And a lot of people on the west side appreciated you getting your building fixed up.
I have gotten so many compliments.
But see, so this is what you have to look at. You have to look at that positive side, because you have some people that appreciate that. I wonder how many people went out. I know one person, after they saw the paint job, went out and started painting their own home. Okay, so you can't say, you don't probably realize the domino effect of what improving your building did to everything else. So, I mean, I don't want you to be discouraged, because, you might not know the whole effect of it yet.
I haven't, I mean, you just mentioned a domino effect, and I hope that really did take effect. And that makes me feel a little bit better. Because I know what I did to the neighborhood and the compliments I've gotten. And just gonna try to move on and keep going.
Yeah, and just keep adding to it. You did get a veterans group that's coming down to meet up.
They haven't contacted me back yet, but I have been in contact with them.
Okay, and we came and used your.
Yes, you did.
This is how it starts. Like I said, I know it'd be nice if you can go from 0 to 100 all at once, but sometimes things just take steps, and appreciate them steps as they come up, because you're bringing out the positiveness of what it did affect, how you did positively affect the neighborhood. And you have to remember that over, I know the finance part is hard, but keep working on it. I think we can still get that going.
With your help, yes,
Thanks, Bill.
as the mayor.
Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
By the way, I have a follow-up, if you don't mind.
No, right up.
You brought up something very important. I appreciate this. No, you got, I'm a loudmouth. People can hear me. Our past always colors what we think our future is going to be. Having a business from 1930s?
1935.
Okay. We haven't been around that here that long. I mean, we've only been in business for, 2018 essentially, and that was in Dalton. Then we moved here in 2020. And growing up, like I said, outside of Schenectady, seeing what that city was doing and not doing, you brought up what can the city do? And that's very important for the old, the established businesses, the ones that have been here trying to keep things going a long time. But let me ask the opposite question. What can the city do to stay out of the way of older businesses, of established businesses? In other words, when it comes to certain codes, when it comes to just trying to do business and be consistent, because if we know the rules are going to change in 2 years, how do you plan? Because you know what? If I know certain things are happening, I can plan 2, 5, 10 years out. It's the consistency in government and not doing things and not making these vast changes and keeping courses that help small businesses. And secondly, when it comes to grants and money given to businesses, I'm not a fan of cities picking winners and losers. I don't like people saying, well, we're giving money to this, not this, but this and not this. What is your opinion and feeling of city grants that are more targeted than general? What's your opinion on that?
I think that makes sense to have it more targeted than on general because, unfortunately, when you do something, when you're giving out grants and you have like 20 businesses that put in for it, if there's someone that you know, someone that you frequent, you're probably more apt to give to them than someone that you don't know or you're not. So I would say, yes, you want it more pointed, grants towards specific things. That way you're probably not using your biases to be making your decisions. Because it can be hard for people to not use their biases in making decisions.
So then, therefore, would it be better to have a selection process that, if you're going to define the criteria, maybe the group then making that assertion should be somewhat removed from city government? In other words, I know other cities have done this where they've come up with grant programs and certain parameters. They've actually gone to outside accounting firms and said, you pick, because we're all too close. We all live here. And that is a problem because, like you said, you go to, so-and-so's auto garage and so-and-so's hair salon. Well, you may be more biased versus having a system in which, okay, we need to continue to grow our city. If you want to say this is for new business versus established businesses, I think that's a very wise delineation. But after that, should the city somewhat step back? Define the parameters, but maybe not define the winners and losers. Is that something that you may want to consider moving forward? Maybe taking the actual people in the city out, using an outside firm to help make that decision so there's less biases.
I think that makes good sense.
Okay. Excellent. I mean, you're a business owner. Would you rather see the city come up, be a little bit more blindfolded in some of these things? I mean, have them define the parameters, but maybe not make the individual decisions.
When I applied for the grants, there are parameters. You have to submit your income tax returns, your business losses, or your income.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think when I want to make the right choice of words. You're right. Take the city government out of it. Go with an independent company because in my opinion, there may be, I'm not saying there is, but there may be certain people in city government that patronize businesses that are applying for grants, and that might lean a little bit towards that business getting the grant. And I agree, it should be an independent body that reviews all the financial information, the profit and loss statements. That should be the people that make the decision of who gets the grants.
Right. Yeah, because so we applied for all this for very similar grants, and we had 0. So whether you're a 100-year business or a 4-year business, we looked at it and said, okay, we didn't get it. Pull up, just work harder and tighten things up, and we go. So I understand your challenges. So new or established. Now, technically, we're an established business in the city. Fantastic. But the city has done, nothing for us. Well, almost nothing, I should say. But it's one of these things where the city can define parameters, but hopefully they go outside the city, because we're a small community. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody that does business with everybody. So it's kind of hard to be unbiased.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
I agree.
Okay.
Someone else has another question for Karen. I'm going to walk out, Karen, and hold the mic for him. So, Steve, just keep that on Karen. All right. All right.
How are you going to address the homeless issue in the city? The other day I saw a video catching a man urinating on people's property off of the common. So homelessness has worked its way into the common really bad now. And how are we going to handle that?
All right. So did you hear that?
I did.
Okay.
Homelessness is a big issue in the city, and unfortunately, it didn't just move into the common. It's been there for a little bit now. One way is we have to get our agencies to work together. Even yesterday, I was working with somebody from one of our housing facilities, and we still do have some empty apartments. They still are trying to fill some of our empty apartments. I do believe we still need to work on stopping people from coming in out of the city into our homeless shelter, into our housing, until we can house the people that are here. I heard, and I don't know if it's true, that our shelter has about 100 people now, which I thought it only held 50. So I don't know how they're doing that, and I haven't been there. I do need to take a stop in again. But it's a multi-facet thing. My first thing, and I have talked to some of our state reps about stopping them from getting us off that list of sending people here because they say we have openings from cities like Boston, from Springfield, from Holyoke. And we need to take care of the people that are here now. We need to have the agencies work together. And I know people don't like it, but we have to have law enforcement involved also, especially with what is considered open and lewd behavior. If somebody got that on video and somebody's seeing it, it's a crime. That's not okay.
All right. So we have another question from someone out here who I'm going to bring the mic out to them also on this one. So go ahead.
So I have a couple questions. One was about the homeless, which you addressed. But not only were they doing things lewdly publicly, but you're finding needles and stuff when you're trying to walk your dogs or something where it's just not safe. But also the panhandlers are out of control. The majority of them, most people know, that aren't even homeless. They're just out there panhandling, getting money. So what are they doing to address that? And one other question was to do with taxes are just so out of control with the sewer and water and the property taxes, with the prices on everything going through the roof. Are they ever going to stop them from just tripling? I just got a water bill for a single person that lives in a single household. $170 is a bit much, where I used to pay $65. It just keeps going up and up. Thank you.
All right, did you hear all that?
I did.
So it started with panhandling, then taxes, basically, and sewage and water.
In regard to the panhandling, I do have our city attorney looking at some of the ordinance and rules that other towns have put in place. You can't mention panhandling, but it is about not allowing people to stand on islands in roadways, just only to cross a street. If you need to cross and there's an island, you can stand the island until you can have freedom to walk the rest of the way to the other side of the street. I do think that same thing, we could work with our police department and our social services to deter people from hanging out on the roadways. It's not a big problem in some of our other cities surrounding us. They're doing something. I believe that we can too. We have to just think outside the box. One of the big things I have mentioned and brought up was even just putting up signs in those areas that they hang out on the islands, telling people not to give money and to give it to these services that we have here and name the services in town, to give the money to them because they're there to help people if they're hungry, if they need a place to stay, if they need anything. We have a lot of social service agencies in Pittsfield that do have services for people if they need them. In regard to the taxes, yes, that was one of the main reasons I ran. I didn't pull my papers until after the budget was finalized. We need to cut how much money we spend. We need to spend to what the city needs, not what people want. Okay? We need to bring things down lower. I'm still hoping that we can get water meters out, especially for people like you that are single. That would cut your water bill way down, having a water meter, because of one person using your water system. Some people can't financially afford it. I think we should have used the ARPA money to provide water meters to people. I know now that they're going to provide it for like 347 people that haven't been able to make their bills, their water and sewer bills, over the last few years and make payments each month. They are slotted to get a water meter, but there's other people still struggling. And I'd like to see about funding for that. I mean, I'd like to talk to our state reps about, you're giving grants out for all these other types of projects. Well, this is a need here in the city. How about we get a grant helping the people here that are in need? I think that would help, but something that I would have to work with our state legislatures with.